Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the 17th edition of LocWorld's Process Innovation Challenge. I can't believe we've gotten here, and we're not going to mess with numbers today. Welcome to Pick 17. This is a chance for innovators to inspire the audience out here, you, with their new ideas and products.
1, 2, 1, 2. You could say, Alex, that the pick is the quest for the holy grail in language innovation competitions.
So, wait, we have to choose the right cup, right? And that's the Carpenter's Cup, as I recall.
You can't be mixing your film canon references, Alex, you know. Carpenter's Cup, anybody? Anybody? Indiana Jones, Last Crusade? You know, it's mixing 70s and 80s film canon just is not allowed. Sorry.
No problem at all. But what do you mean by that?
That's like saying Michael J. Fox did the Truffle Shuffle. Or the one ring to rule them all is really a Horcrux. Or E.T. took Richard Dreyfuss on a trip. Remember this? All right. So, Carpenter's Cup scene, anyone remember that? And if there's anyone in the audience that these references are going, woo, come up and find us later. So, Indiana Jones, he realized that the cup to take, the Holy Grail, was the one of humility. Humility is the way. When faced with a room of chalices, he chose the most ordinary and functional one. The quest for the Holy Grail, on the other hand, is about a mission which King Arthur goes on with brave knights, except for Sir Robin, of course, passing all sorts of dangers. The Black Knight.
It's only a lousy flesh wound.
An enchanter that some called
Dim.
And the knights who say,
Knee.
Knee. We have the audience.
All right.
Some of them know it.
Finally.
Knee. Okay. So, of course, the killer rabbit at the cave of Caer Bladach. It's just a little rabbit, right?
Oh, yeah. So King Arthur, wasn't that the one where the young boy pulls that sword out of the stone?
Dude, seriously, that's from Excalibur 1981. You're mixing your references again. Let's get with it. Liam Neeson, Gabriel Byrne, a younger Patrick Stewart.
To boldly go where no man has gone.
That was William Bleeding Shatner. Patrick Stewart was more engage. Make it so.
Make it so.
Make it so. So, listen. In Python's quest, the Lady of the Lake, her arm clad in simmering shamite, held aloft Excalibur, signifying by divine providence that I, Arthur, was to carry Excalibur, that I was to become your king. See, it's shimmering.
Knee.
Why'd you say knee?
Dave, we got to move on with the pick. All right, that's about enough.
Stop. Who ye would start this pick you see must answer me these questions. 3, 5. Who said 5?
Okay, Dave.
What is your name?
Alex Bernet.
What is your favorite color?
Well, easy. Blue.
Who is going to win the pick?
Well, how could we know that? We haven't even seen the innovators.
Ah!
All right. So here we go. Welcome, everyone, to the pick. First, I need to mention that unfortunately one of our dragons, Mary Kazimias from TRSB, is dealing with an emergency issue, and so she's not able to join us. So we've asked our friend Jeff Kiser, a former pick moderator, to join us last moment. Thank you, Jeff, for standing in. And I want to thank Mary for the great job that she did coaching our innovators and asking them questions in the preliminary round. So we wish she could be here, and we hope to have her back soon. I also want to do a special thank you to Marina Pancheva from RWS, who has been serving in a coaching role with Dave and I. She helped coach 2 of our innovators for the final. And man, if you've ever seen a presentation from Marina, you want her as a coach. She's fantastic. So thanks, Marina. Real quick logistics. We go over this 16 times. I think most of you have seen it. 3.5 minutes in the final round for the pitch, followed by some short question and answer with our dragons. And then we will vote. And the audience vote is going to be weighted 50% along with the dragon vote in this final. The dragons did all of the voting in the preliminary rounds, but you get a say in this, and there'll be a voting poll at the end of the session. So let's get on with it. Oh, yeah. One more. I really want to thank Renato and Nimdzi for once again providing some fantastic prizeware. Our first prize gets a 2-page profile in Multilingual magazine. Second place also gets a 1-page white paper. So thanks very much to Eddie, Arietta, and the team at Multilingual. Thanks, Renato. We appreciate all the support of the pick. So good luck, innovators.
It's final time, everybody. You've seen the contestants, you've heard our, preamble, and let's get things moving. So we'll ask Carolina to join us on stage. And Carolina, please join us. Here's the clicker. Over to you, Carolina.
Hello, Dragons. Hello, everyone. I'm Carolina Freire, and I'm here with Uber to talk about the most exciting tech innovation of the year. Today, it's going to be all about dragons. Who here works with localization testing? If you do, you know there are high costs associated with recruiting, training, and maintaining an LQA team, not to mention the cost and time to maintain test scripts. In fact, about 23% of an organization's annual IT spend is dedicated to quality assurance and testing. And most of the bugs are actually internationalization issues, things like unlocalized text that doesn't require a linguist or a localization expert to flag such issues. So now the question becomes how to scale software testing to multiple languages and markets at zero cost. And the solution is Dragon Crawl, generative AI for resilient internationalization mobile testing. Dragon is code-free and maintenance-free. You train once, and it runs in many languages and locales. It has zero costs associated with test execution and bug triage. It detects bugs in a matter of seconds and raises the Jira ticket for you. It's also highly efficient. Dragon is 1,000 times smaller than ChatGPT. And it's goal-oriented. It chooses the right action to take to accomplish the goal. So here's a quick demo of Dragon in action. As you can see, the model runs through all the screens in the app, flagging internationalization and layout issues. Things like unlocalized text, truncated text, also mixed language screens, regional formatting issues, and by-die issues. So again, it runs through each and every screen in the app, flagging the bugs, and the best part, it raises the Jira ticket. It explains the issue, it categorizes the bug, it provides a screenshot and all the content information, and also all the labels that you need to track and resolve the bug. So far, Dragon has helped Uber expand to several markets and languages, bringing actual savings of about $20,000 in test execution and 30K developer hours saved, and again, at zero maintenance cost. As next step, Uber continues to train Dragon to flag linguistic issues. So the next step is for Dragon to flag things like grammar errors and accuracy errors. So the goal is for Dragon to be the comprehensive solution for your LQA program. So thank you so much. Thank you, Dragons. And remember, vote for Dragon. Thank you.
Well done. That was very smart, Carolina. You really, talking to the dragons there. I was expecting to see them crawl. Maybe that's later on tonight. We'll see how things go. But really good stuff. Well done. Dragons, let's have a question or two for Carolina.
Sure. I'll go first. Thank you, Carolina. I love it. The end-to-end testing is definitely a time sucker for lots of organizations. And I love the fact that you also automatically raise a JIRA ticket, which is also something, a very time-consuming task. My question is the information that goes in the JIRA ticket. So obviously the bug category, it looks like you do screenshots, so there's some visuals. Does it also give an indication of the location of the strings, where you find the string in the code? Because that's also very time-consuming often.
Yeah, so it does provide the screenshot and also the build that was tested, but doesn't tell you the location exactly, but it provides enough information so you are able to locate where the bug is happening and fix the issue.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have another question?
Yes, fascinating. And the question that I have is this a solution that you have developed for internal purposes, or are you making it available commercially, either as a product or as a service? Is it available for other members here of our community?
That's a great question. So Uber developed Dragon as an internal solution for our LQA program, but the results and cost savings are very impressive. And we have been talking about Dragon in some other conference, and there has been a lot of interest from other companies. So yes, we are thinking about externalize as a solution, but we are not there yet. We are working towards that, but that's the goal.
So if anybody's interested, they should be talking to you.
Yes, I'm here doing my sales pitch.
Okay.
Brilliant. Well done, Carolina.
Thank you.
Good job.
Wonderful. Well, let's keep going on. Gabriel, let's get you up here. And as you can see, it goes fast, so have a think. You're going to be getting to vote later, by the way. So as Gabriel is coming on stage, over to you, Gabriel.
It's very nice to be here with everybody. All right, my name is Gabriel, and I'm from Brazil, but my native language is not Brazilian Portuguese. It's Brazilian Portuguese from São Paulo. It's rooted in the 80s and 90s. It's professional, with a dash of sarcasm and mild aversion to slang. And the reason I say this is because language isn't just about communication. Language is also deeply about identity. And in order to truly communicate, it's not enough to just blast communication to some nameless crowd. You need to truly dial in the discourse to each specific target persona that you want to address. Realizing that this was a tough cookie to crack, to say the least, I reached out to Enrique and Dr. V, our geniuses at BureauWorks, so we could figure something out. And so the sous chef was born, with the promise to seamlessly deliver target discourse to specific target audiences at scale, no matter the language or the content type. The sous chef reads through the initial text and infers what the text is about, what it sets out to do, who it's targeted at, and based on this initial assessment, the sous chef suggests initial guidelines that I can follow. But don't worry, I can change these flavor palettes however I please. So maybe in Brazil, I want to focus this email campaign on 40-year-olds in São Paulo and make it business casual. Maybe in Japan, I want to make it super formal, focused on 70-year-olds in Osaka. And in France, I want to focus it on a trendy crowd, a bit younger, in Paris. But as usual, my assumptions are typically incorrect. My results typically fail. Not a problem. Sous Chef allows me to easily iterate countless different flavor palettes, allowing me to focus on the textual spices that achieve my desired results. But the Sous Chef isn't just some simple little spin on language here by an LLM. The Sous Chef is rooted in our RAG translation framework that allows us to maximize predictability and consistency in our results. The Sous Chef allows me to iterate on the canon that we've built of translation memories and glossaries, reference files, allowing me to both follow them as well as build derivative knowledge bases so that I can reuse them and repurpose them and deploy countless micro-engines at scale. And I can do this in bulk or segment by segment so that I can maximize the human authorship experience as well as learning. Gone, source to target. In, source into target personas. And the sous chef is also about managing the knowledge within the editing process too, tasting each and every specific edit and allowing me to either reconsider the edit when it's deviating from the proposed stylistic guidelines, or incorporate the edit and readjust the guidelines on the fly, meaning I can learn from my work. And because the sous chef incorporates natural language guidelines, the possibilities are literally endless. You can deploy and recalibrate and repurpose these engines endlessly without having people to remember countless little details. And people come and go in their journeys, but the knowledge, it really has to stay. 34% less cost, 50% less time compared to traditional translation practices. The sous chef allows me to incorporate via REST API user data dynamically in order to reconditionally, iteratively, and repurposely deliver text exactly to how people are best responding based on analytics. Because we're long past the age where a single market can be reduced to a single target language. We're long past the age where translation quality is just a matter of right and wrong. And we're in the age of true connection, sparked by the content that's just right for you. Thank you.
Well done. Great job. Let's see if the dragons really do have big pointy teeth. Questions, dragons?
I have a question. So first of all, I love the name because the holidays are coming pretty soon, and my sister-in-law is a chef, and I'm always a sous chef, so I appreciate that. I'm a little curious as to, typically linguists have to be able to work pretty quickly, right? They're provided files, they're provided style guides, right? Which, in a sense, is giving them a lot of direction on how the tone and everything should happen. This seems to be that next level, right? The next level of being able to really touch on the translation itself and really, craft it. I'm just wondering, with linguists having very limited time and things coming in, coming out, do you anticipate, for instance, linguists basically being able to have that time to go through that on an individual basis versus having more of a general feel of how the style should be? Because this is a lot more detailed. You're gonna have to spend a little bit more time until you get it right. And I guess my second question is there a feedback loop then that comes back and says, I understand what you're trying to do here, but I would think you could probably simplify that to just approaching it this way, kind of?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think a lot of the mechanism that we're deploying builds on richer, deeper interactions between the linguist and the editor. So yes, there are more things going on, and the linguist does have to focus on more things than typically a less rich of an experience. But the thing is, because this experience gets highly leveraged, the more you interact, the less you have to interact moving forward, because the engine gets continuously recalibrated in runtime. So what we notice is at the beginning of a file, for instance, you're going to get a lot more interactions. As you move through a file, these interactions are going to diminish further and further. So ultimately, the trade-off is a net highly positive as far as time seems. That's a 50% less time. On average, the translations do take 50% less using the sous chef compared to not using it. And one other thing that's interesting about your question is the higher the transcreation required, the more effective the engine becomes. So yeah, thank you. Great question.
My question is, this seems to be outside of the traditional translation process. This is more, what is the persona that should be using this product? It's not your regular translator in a traditional translation workflow.
I think it will be. Maybe not now, but for us, the key is when Enrique and we think about these things, we're trying to move, for us right now, we're trying to move away from information and into knowledge. That's, for us, it's where we're heading and we're getting very close to that. Or ultimately, we want to get to wisdom. That's a bit far away, maybe from the human race forever. But for now, we're trying to get into knowledge. And I think it's going to be incorporated by everybody at some point, because instead of having to remember all these briefs and all these reference files, that's all incorporated into that translation experience. In my opinion, yes, maybe right now it's a little bit outside the box, but will become, in my opinion, mainstream pretty soon.
Wow, brilliant stuff. Well done. Ariel.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Did you get that? Data, knowledge, wisdom? Was that the order? Some people try and skip the knowledge bit sometimes, right? Data, information. Thanks, Javi. Always listening. Thanks very much. I'll give you some wisdom if you want it right now. For anyone who fancies sitting down, top left from your perspective, loads of empty seats. So if you fancy it, go over there, over that way. Okay, great. We'll move on. So thanks, Gabriel. Next up is Shirley. So I'll ask Shirley to join us on stage. And we're going to get some more smarts from Shirley. Should be here. Oh, yeah. Here you go. Clicker. Move this for you. Take it out. Or take that one. Whichever you want.
Can you hear me?
Over to you.
So hi, everyone. I'm Shirley Coady from RWS, or specifically from our Linguistic AI business unit, working with Trados and other language technology. So we all know that project managers are very busy professionals. They're working on hundreds of tasks daily, not even enough time to go chase a mouse. So meet Mittens. Mittens is a project manager. She started her day, she had a nice sleep, and she's starting with a good cup of coffee. And then the first issue comes in. Our star linguist has called in sick. So now Mittens has to look and quickly find out what tasks that linguist has that are due soon so that we're not late with any deliveries. And then next that customer calls. They want to talk about the timeliness and the quality of the last deliveries, and they don't sound very happy. And of course, now is the time when your boss reaches out and says, I need a report on post-editing trends in Japanese, and I need that before lunch today. Right as you're getting started, here it comes, incoming, urgent project from a customer, drop everything and handle that right away. So, Mittens here has to do a lot of multitasking, lots of tasks on her paws. Any good TMS out there can give her the information she needs to be able to perform these tasks. So just go to the linguist page, go to the project page, go to the reporting module. She can find the information she needs. But all of that takes time, and time is what a project manager does not have. So what if there was a better way? Introducing Smart Insights. Just ask your TMS in natural language for whatever it is you happen to need. So we'll show you a couple of concrete use cases here. First of all, that first issue that came up, we had a linguist that called in sick. So I'm going to find out what tasks that linguist had so that I know what I have to reallocate to other translators. And here we go. So that was a simple one, right? Let's move on to the next case. I have that unhappy customer that just called. So first of all, let's look and see what we have been delivering. We want to make sure we are meeting our KPIs for that customer. So I'm going to take a look at what we've delivered for that customer over the last year to see whether or not we really have a problem. And we do have a problem. We've been delivering some projects late. So at this point, I can now drill down into all the reasons behind it. In this case, we're going to keep it simple and just say which languages are the problem. But think about having all this data and all this information. You can dig down as you want. I might want to know, is there a specific domain that's the problem? Is there a specific linguist? What type of quality errors is I'm getting? I can keep on digging into it to find out the information I need. So, obviously, these are just two use cases, but with all this data at your fingertips, the sky is really the limit for what you can get from the system. So why is this so valuable? As I said, any good TMS can give you this type of information. Well, this goes beyond the hype of AI, and it lets us make your life better, Mittens' life better, just a little bit every day. So with this type of information, Mittens here is able to make data-driven decisions, handle a lot of different projects intelligently, and reduce her business risks. And most importantly, now she can chase that mouse. Thank you very much.
Well done. Mittens looks really comfortable.
Yeah.
Just saying.
She's a happy mitten now.
Questions, Dragons?
Yeah, Shirley, this is fantastic. Again, another great time saver. I was wondering, once you get the results, can you go one step further? Can you actually action the results and maybe, you know, get to the specific projects directly by clicking on the insights outcome?
So that is the dream. This is phase one. The actual follow-up of the next project that we're doing is, instead of saying, okay, show me the projects that came in late, or sorry, show me the tasks that this language has due, show me who has the capacity to take them on. Okay, reassign them to that person. Just be able to sit down and do your job without having to
Click around.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Carolina. Is this already available? Is this commercially available to your clients today? It seems very practical and useful. It's the kind of thing that I would like to have. Or is it something that's still conceptual and you're trying to design?
So we have it in beta right now, and by beta, inside RWS, we have several thousand project managers. So what we're doing is we're doing a trial run with them to find out what are they actually asking, just to make sure everything is good, and we're hoping that by the end of this calendar year, it is going to be commercially available.
So do you see this as a feature, or do you see this as an add-on, as a product?
So that's a good question. Right now, it is like a feature. At the point in time where we would be able to, for example, say, just reallocate those tasks for me, then I'd see it more as an add-on.
Brilliant. Really great job. Well done. Shirley.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shirley. Good job. Which mic do I use? So we keep going on. Anyone who's still looking for space, you can go around the back quietly, stealthily, and there's space over there. Good stuff. Kirill will ask to join us on stage. And yeah, we're halfway through, so we're moving along nicely. Kirill, let's bring him on.
Hey, Monterey. My name is Kirill. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Content Quo. So Content Quo is a software platform that automates language quality assessment workflows for human, NMT, and LLM translation output with any translation management system out there. Now, those workflows are used or named by several different names, such as TQE or quality audits, but here I will call them LQA. Now, traditionally, LQA has been done by humans. However, with large language models, this started to change. So now, several companies are offering AI LQA. Why is that cool? So first, it's much faster. You can actually get results in minutes instead of days. And second, it's much more scalable, so you can cover many, many more content with the same budget. However, even larger localization teams still face challenges when deploying AI LQA in practice. So first, their TMS might not yet support AI LQA, or maybe it's just not flexible enough for their needs. They might want to do it themselves because they have access to a corporate LLM and they know how to write prompts, but then it's difficult to integrate into their workflows. And finally, actually measuring how reliable AI LQA output is can be difficult, and that makes it challenging to trust it for important decision-making. So to solve all of those challenges, we have designed our AI LQA platform. Let me show you how it works real quick. So first, you set up a team of virtual AI LQA assistants, or maybe just one for starters. You can do this inside the platform using any large language model you have an API key for, with lots of settings, like prompts and even RAG. Or you can plug in third-party AI LQA engines built by external vendors. Now, when the team is set up, you can actually test those AI LQA assistants at scale versus previously done human LQA. Now, testing allows you to figure out how well those AI LQA assistants perform on different language pairs, or different products, or different content types, and figure out which of the AI engines is best for a given use case. You can also, instead of bulk testing of the previous results, you can have human linguists provide oversight for new AI LQA results coming in from the AI LQA assistants in the same platform. And of course, you can monitor and measure how AI LQA assistants perform through metrics and reports, including things like trends over time. Now, Content Quo has connectors to all the popular translation management systems out there. So all of this does not require you changing your TMS. To sum it up, our innovation is the first AI LQA platform for this industry, covering the end-to-end process, from creating your AI LQA assistants through testing them and even monitoring by humans. But did you actually realize that LQA is useful not just for localization only? In fact, large language models these days are providing help to many, many other monolingual business functions, such as marketing, customer support, or even legal. And if your team could own LLM quality across your entire organization with this kind of platform, just imagine how much more internal power you folks would have. This is it. Thank you very much.
So I have a question, and Kirill, I love this. This is a great evolution. 2 years ago, you and I were talking about this, and it's just awesome to see this kind of progress as it is. So,
thank you, Jeff.
My question is, do you feel guilty that you're taking, away some of the work that's out there by creating something like this? No, that's not my question, but.
I feel happy that we have a chance to get the boring work out and automate some of that.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously this is very relevant for AIs that are out there because this is a new age, right? Have you found any challenges along the way? Because obviously there's still a lot of questions about AI and how that's come across, and obviously some of the typical QA questions that in the past without AI were very clear and concise. Now that you're introducing AI, are those evaluations just absolutely different because of the AI that's coming out, the quality that's coming from that versus a traditional model? How does that feed into that evaluation process for you?
Yeah, love the question. Thanks, Jeff. In fact, it's actually quite the opposite. So when I started to dig into how LLM output evaluation is done, I was super surprised to learn that it's very similar to how we've been doing LQA for translation for decades, right? And this is kind of what leads us to believe that if we can step up our game as localization people and have a bit of courage to get outside of our own bubble, we can take over, if not the universe, then at least a little bit more seats at the table in our respective corporations, if we can show them that we know how to manage the risk of deploying large language models at scale in whatever workflows they're being used for now. So it's a time of opportunity.
My question has to do with the challenge that we have when we talk about LQA, when we talk about translation, when we talk about these entities, we tend to think of them as something that has performance that's uniform. But we know when it comes to LLMs that there is a significant drop in performance after a certain number of languages. You see numbers like 92, 93% in the reports that are showing there. But how far does it go? How many languages do you get to get that kind of performance that you're having? And when does it start to degrade?
I've just been talking to somebody about African languages before the session, and we talked about Wolof It's one of the languages. Many speakers, but obviously not very well developed commercially. So I think this will stay a hybrid workflow for years, realistically, in this industry. In the higher resource languages, we can start entrusting Gen AI to do those quality assessments and just have human auditing them. In lower resource languages, we'll still do the good old thing, because we need to train the new generation of translators, and LQA is actually great for that, because it produces structured feedback that newly born linguists can learn from easily, right? So that's kind of what I see. So the principle is not going away. The feedback loop is still there. And for low resource languages, we need to make professional translators, right? They're not there yet.
So do you know what low resource language is in your tool? How is it 15, 20, 50?
We're still early in the testing of the platform and what it can do. So I'll wait for our customers, and maybe they'll present something with us next year, and then we'll see.
I was going to say, don't answer that, but you did. Good stuff, great questions.
Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you.
Good job.
One of the really nice things about doing this is we see new innovators coming on stage. We see some previous innovators, Kirill being one of them. George will join us now. And George was actually in the first pick in Barcelona in 2017 and won it. Just saying. George.
Hi. Oops. That's, okay. Hello, everyone. My name is George Zhao from Video Localize. I'm excited to introduce you an innovation technology for automatic dubbing, video dubbing. So machine translation tools like Google Translate handle text-based languages. So what about videos? Video localization is far more complex. It not only involves translating text, but also processing video and audio. Until recently, with the power of AI, automatic dubbing technology is booming. So there are so many video dubbing products in the market. We developed a product called Video Dub.ai. So let's see what is the difference of our innovation. Oops. Yeah, let's see how it works. So we first log into Video.ai and upload a video, drop and drop a video here. And we select the source language, English, target language, Spanish, and we choose a male voice for it. And let's hear about the video.
So this is going to create our first app. Now, many of you are not familiar with this whole user interface here, this Xcode user interface. So,
okay, let's translate and dub it. Click this button. So the process is started. So this is a typical training video. There's only one voice, and there's no talking head on the screen. So the total length of this video is about 3 minutes. So it's going to be finished. 3, 2, 1, done.
Así que esto va a crear nuestra primera aplicación. Ahora, muchos de ustedes no están familiarizados con toda esta interfaz de usuario aquí, esta interfaz de usuarios Code.
Okay. So it took us only 18 seconds to translate and dub this 3-minute video. So other products in the market require more processing time. So the point is we use a special method to translate and dub video as quickly as possible so that viewers can watch the dubbed version of the video on the fly. So what this technology can do, how we use it. So firstly, the end user can just watch a video, any video in their own language. So this is just the Google Translate, but it's for video. Second, for business, business can quickly make their entire video library being available in multiple languages in few days at very low cost. So take a tech company, for example, they got 500 support videos and needed to be translated into 20 languages. So that's 10,000 final videos. So doing that the traditional way would make months or even years to do it. So with this technology, it can be done very quickly. So third, we can provide the data. So let's say you've got an English channel. So how do you know which videos your Spanish-speaking customers are watching? So with Video Dub, we can track the video playback and see which videos are getting the most views in different languages. So this gives you valuable insight into what is working. That's it. Thank you very much.
Well done, George. 18 seconds. Seriously, what can you do in 18 seconds? Don't answer that. Dragons.
Yes, thank you, George. I love the data insights. I mean, I love it all, but the data insights is super interesting. I wonder, do the videos have to be hosted on Video Localize side in order to get the data insights, or can they be hosted on the client side and then through API or whatever you're able to see the dashboards?
Yeah, through API, but the video firstly goes to our server to process and go back to the customer hosting sites.
Oh, so you look at how many times it's processed.
Yeah,
okay.
we process it. Yeah.
And then I imagine this is useful if you want to see what are the most visited videos and maybe do some editing of the video, right, of the subtitling.
Yeah.
Is there a function to do that as well, or is that a separate
separate.
workflow?
So yeah, so if customer wants to improve the translation quality or voice-over quality, so they need to know which video is being viewed mostly. So we provide data, and this can be done separately.
Separately. Thank you.
So the example that you provide there of 500 video, 1,000 videos in 500 languages or something like that sounds like a real case scenario. And you say it would take months or years. How long does it take in your platform, and how much does it cost?
So our platform, we are not translating at the same time. So when the users click on it, it's being processing. So we can, I don't know how long to translate the whole thing.
Yeah.
And currently, on the video.ai, it's a free tool for end users. So for customers, but it's API implementation, so we don't have pricing yet.
Free is good.
Always.
Great. Thanks very much, George.
Thank you.
And we have our last innovator right now, and that's Fabio. So I'll ask Fabio to join us. And yeah, please welcome Fabio.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Fabio Minazzi. I'm AV director at Translated. Voice is an integral part of our life, of our identity. We explain our thoughts through voice. We get recognized through voice. But there are cases where you can lose your voice all of a sudden, or for pathologies like ALS, where your voice becomes a feeble bubbling and you lose control and then you become silent. 3 years ago, when we started developing our AI dubbing platform, we were approached by Pino Insegno, a famous Italian actor active in ALS relief, and challenging us about the usage of AI voices. He said, why don't we use AI for something, for a purpose, to donate voice to those who lost it? So we took on the challenge and designed an experiment with him, which you'll see in a minute. So we called people from different countries to a recording studio to record their voice and to judge the recording. As you can imagine, most people were critical. My voice is not good, it doesn't sound right, it's funny, it's unsuitable. But then we created voice models and gave it to ALS patients for them to speak with. They realized how precious the voice is if you can donate it to people who doesn't have them. This is how Voice for Purpose started. It's the first platform where anyone can safely donate their voice to those who don't have it anymore. It's an infrastructure that can deliver expressive AI voices through the cloud in real time, anywhere, to any connected device. And this is a huge innovation. It's a set of innovations in the medical field. This doesn't exist. So what we did, we campaigned, and as many as 5,000 people donated their voice so far in 5 languages. We partnered with a clinical research center for them to actually deploy these voices to people in real life and see the impact. And the result was what we thought, we hoped. It really makes a difference. The quality of the voices that we can deliver over the cloud is much better than the traditional ones, the standard ones. So, just to give you an example, this is not an ALS case, but it's a young child from Spain who's affected by the Rett syndrome. Rett syndrome means that parts of your brain, when you get to 3 years old almost, you start regressing instead of developing. Therefore, she will never be able to articulate a sound, a voice, and speak. So her mother reached out to us asking for a voice, which would be like an expressive voice, to start training, interacting with her, and develop her brain through voice interaction. And she couldn't do that with the standard synthetic voices. And you will hear now why.
Hola mamá, ¿quieres jugar conmigo? He puesto todas las pelotas dentro de la caja, así que están en compañía.
So we went out, and through Voice for Purpose, we could find a little donor, a very young donor. And we created a little voice for Maria, that's her code name, to speak. And this is the result.
Hola mamá, ¿quieres jugar conmigo? He puesto todas las pelotas dentro de la caja, así que están en compañía.
You see, every day we learn from the people we help how to help them more. And we will learn from their smiles, from their struggles, from their desire to communicate. And we learn how this technology can help and improve people's lives. And this urges us to put even more effort into opening languages to everyone, because your voice, every voice, matters. So we hope you'll like this project. Thank you.
I'm speechless. This is fantastic. You know, this is not only innovation, this is revolutionary. And, you know, for a translation localization company, I mean, you're pushing a limit of going in a different realm altogether. You mentioned 5 languages. I guess my question is, how far are you hoping to be able to go from a language set? Will this eventually be just a standalone thing that you can do through other agencies, organizations to provide this sort of thing? And maybe my third question is, maybe next year, anybody that's in the audience can have their voice recorded for that purpose.
Well, yeah, the big thing is to reach out to people and support them into different places in the world, because typically when you get diagnosed ALS, you go to a practitioner, you ask, what should I do? I mean, I will not be able to walk anymore. When will I stop talking? And you don't know it exactly. So there's a network, a worldwide network of different entities in different countries, each one connected with their national health security system, because typically these things require like infrastructure to support life. And therefore, the biggest challenge is actually to connect with all these people, connect all these centers, give support, and actually even to create the models with many more languages than we have done so far.
My question has to do with the input, right? We're talking about the input is in voice. So do they have to type the text that they want to speak? How is this interface? How does that work?
Well, this is a very important point because, for some pathologies, for example, if you get cancer at the larynx, they remove your voice box, so you can still type, and it's not a problem. And typing is around 60 words per minute, while we speak at 100, 120, 150. So it's not a huge
like
problem.
The Steve Hawking's problem, right? Because
exactly.
you type,
Exactly. Well, if you use an eye-gazing device, then it becomes much slower. And in fact, we are going to research into how to improve that with LLMs, applying LLMs for a purpose also in this case.
Alex, we'll take one quick question if you have it.
Yeah, I think it was covered. I have to say, translated, sometimes you do videos and ads that always choke me up, and this is no different. It's really impressive. I was curious about scaling. You did talk about languages, so increasing your languages. What's your plan for improvement and for scale, maybe beyond language, maybe use cases?
Yeah. Well, we are actually, I don't know if I can show, we are actually asking people to support the project because so far Translated funded completely on its own this effort. So if your company is willing to join us in this effort, we will be able to do more research. We will be able to deploy more voices because these voices are quite costly to maintain in terms of computation. But of course, the other thing is that you can also donate your voice. Go on the website and donate it if you wish. And spread the word. Spread the word. It's possible now.
And, you know, one of the great things about this stage and doing it is you come across innovations of all categories, you know, with different types of impact, with different types of sector focus, and with different types of value. So this is one that we can all get involved in. If you haven't, and I know some people here have donated your voice, and you fancy it, there's the details there. Fabio, thank you very much, and closing us out.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Well, get your phones out now. Yep. Wow, everyone's obedient. Well done. You've had coffee. Well, we'll get you out to lunch soon. But before we do, all right, did I skip a slide? No, I didn't. You've seen our finalists. So now you can vote. So now, if you have any problems with this, you'll see this slide a couple of times. So don't worry, we'll show it a few times. But if you do have any voting problems, just come find us backstage, and we will make your vote count. And Alex, I believe we're going to close voting an hour after the session, so do get it in soon. Thank you. All right. Did you get that? No? Who said no? Javi slow on the mobile. That's news to me. Good stuff. All right, we'll show it again in a second. But preliminary rounds, we run at these, and it gives innovators a chance to kind of get their decks down, because we asked them to use only 3 slides and 3 minutes, so it's a tougher ask than here. But you can go up to the YouTube channel, LocWorld YouTube channel, and check those out. Lots of good stuff from all of our preliminary rounds and finals. So, and Alex does a really nice job on tagging and linking, so you can find people. You can still vote. Let's ask some voices to join us. We've got a couple of minutes before we send you to lunch. So, you know, stop the tummy grumblings just for a minute. And we'll just ask Heather, Peter, and Alex to join us stage. And we'll have a quick chat over that way there. Yep. And okay. Voting slide is back on by request. So let's get things cranking in a sec. I'll have to move over here. Go.
Dave, do you mind if I interrupt for one quick second?
Yeah.
I just wanted to make a quick note. Obviously, I want to recognize Dave and Alex. This is pick 17, and the incredible job that they have done in progressing the pick over time in bringing this to LocWorld and having these great innovators here. So I just wanted to recognize Dave and Alex for that.
Thanks, Jeff. Listen, Heather, we'll start with you. So as CEO at Language.io, which, if you don't know, is a multilingual customer support software provider and a previous pick runner-up, Yes. Let's start with you. What does innovation look like, from you, from a global customer support perspective, from the customer's perspective?
Sure, makes a lot of sense. So to give you a little more context here, at Language.io, we're very focused on one thing, and that is to allow a monolingual customer support organization to support customers in any language. And the main use case that we support today is really a live chat scenario. We support other use cases, but that's our biggest one. And whether that's agent to customer, where the agent could speak any language and the customer could speak any language, or a bot to customer, there are really 3 areas where our customers are looking for us to innovate. By the way, Dave, how much time do I have? Am I limited to 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm done. Okay.
You can keep going.
Okay, I'll keep going. So the 3 areas where they're looking for us to innovate would be latency, quality, and security, and I'll address each one of those very quickly in the interest of time. So latency is an interesting one. It used to be if we could provide real-time translation services between, say, a customer and a support agent, as long as it came back in a couple of seconds, they were really happy. Like, this is real-time support, this is live translation. But our customers are getting more and more stringent about latency, to the point where today a lot of them want us to bake latency into the service level agreements in the SaaS agreement that we sign with them. And if it is over 2 seconds on average over a period of time, and they do measure and we measure, we owe money back. So latency requirements are getting really stringent, especially as voice is coming onto the scene. It's not enough now to just translate text. It also has to be voice. So that's one where they're looking for us to innovate. When it comes to quality, of course, innovation means a number of things here. When we're talking about real-time translation scenarios, we're also talking about large language models that are now in the mix, right? And so they're looking for not just the traditional quality assessments where we're involving human linguists and a random sampling of the chat messages that we've translated and assessing quality, which we still do, but they're also looking for real-time quality assessment metrics. They want user-generated quality coming from the agents and the customers themselves, rating the translations, supervised learning. They're also looking for unsupervised learning, so real-time translation quality metrics that are generated in real time and used to improve the quality of the translations that we're providing.
Heather, if I can interrupt you.
Yeah.
They want it and they want it now. Is that basically what you're seeing more
right
of?
now, and it needs to be perfect.
Brilliant, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Heather. Peter, CEO of MemoQ, many people will know you. How hard or easy is it to innovate now in this space we're all in?
Hi, thank you, Dave. 70 years ago, the writer Peter Drucker said that the purpose of a business is to create a customer. And because that's the purpose, it's got 2 functions and only 2 functions, and they're marketing and innovation. 70 years ago, that was true. This morning, that's true. And it is quite hard. It's not, we've all got this habit of when somebody does something spectacular, we say, oh, we'll do that too. It looks nice. I love some of that. And it ends up in a lot of the innovations in our industry and lots of other industries is it feels like everybody's going in a herd in one way. And it doesn't help us. It's great if somebody does whatever it is better than anybody else, and then that's brilliant. But if we all do the same thing, it's not going to help us. Innovation is incredibly hard. It's incredibly interesting. It makes our life interesting, and it's fascinating that 70 years ago, Drucker defined a company. The purpose is to create a customer, and its functions are marketing and innovation. And it's fascinating how true that is and how pertinent that is with all the new things that are coming up, such as AI and whatever. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. And we have Alex Katsambas as part of our innovative voices. Try saying that in a hurry. And Alex, you lead localization and other areas at Farfetch. You've done quite a bit of deployment of innovation over the years, right? So Have you just done innovation for innovation's sake, though?
No.
Did we prepare
okay. Good, very good question. I think I decided that 2024 is going to be my transparent, honest answer years. So you usually try to give the perfect answer of what this looks like. The reality is, from a client point of view, you don't really need innovation for the sake of innovation. You need to know and understand what is the problem at hand, what is it that you're trying to solve, and then hyper-focus on that. Whether that's going to bring innovation, great, that's amazing. But maybe the solution is already there. Like, why do I innovate? Do I innovate because I want to save money? Do I innovate because I want to put something out in the world that is beautiful and I want everybody to admire and tell me, well done, this is amazing? Do I innovate because I want to go faster? Do I innovate because, I don't know, somebody told me that what I'm doing is really bad and I need to find, what is it that is driving innovation? That's what we need to ask ourselves first. And that's what we're trying to do. And then that also helps to hyper-focus on finding whatever that solution is going to look like, because in a lot of cases you see, like, I don't know, things are coming our way, but we talk with a lot of, I don't know, service providers, for example, throughout the years, and then they will present something that in principle looks fantastic, but it just doesn't mean that it solves my problem, because eventually we have cases that nobody asks what our challenges are from a client point of view. Like, that happens quite a lot. We're all on the bandwagon of AI. Maybe that's not what I'm looking for.
It's not the problem we need to solve. Brilliant. Thank you, Alex. Well done. We're done, and we need to get you to lunch, I'm told. So it just remains for us to say.
Well, first of all, we were hurrying at the beginning, and I want to thank our awesome dragons this time, Alessandra Binazzi, Renato Beninatto, and Jeff Kiser. Let's have a round of applause for our dragons. Thank you.